All right, great. So, good morning, all of you. This Sunday morning, I know it's Sunday. It's a Sunday lazy morning. At least for you, it's morning. For Rameshwar, it's a Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. So warm welcome to this amazing webinar this Sunday morning on OKR, objective and key result. I'm not sure how many of you are really practicing it, but warm welcome OKR with Rameshwar Balanagu. So we'll get started. Let's welcome Rameshwar. Rameshwar is the head of digital automation Avaya. He's head of digital automation. He's enterprise architect, and the great news, he's part of the CDO Summer School 2020, and recently he is OKR certified. Yeah. So, more than that, Rameshwar runs the sixth largest intelligent automation meetup group in US. He's based out of Texas and managed the Intelligent Automation Summit. So, most welcome, Rameshwar, and thanks a lot for accepting our invitation to enlighten and share your experience on the OKR. So, guys, let's welcome Rameshwar. Let's welcome Rameshwar. So how to welcome in this virtual world? It's very difficult to welcome the people. Can you please just type welcome Rameshwar into the chat box? You can just type
It's
WR. You guys, you can
it's
just type
fine.
WR into the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So Rameshwar, I'm just handing over the control to you.
Yeah.
Cool. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, except for me, I believe. Trying to actually have a cup of coffee to keep myself awake. So Sunday, spending time is a lot, taking away family time. So I hope I can do the best. Uh, just a quick poll. How many of you, you know what, there's no survey, it's fine, but we can always, so you could always connect to me. Uh, I couldn't think anything better than this. So you're all here for one thing, which is you're aiming for the sky. And that's what OKR is. If you understand this, basically you're done with OKR. How does that sound like? So I will, this is something I've always used it for setting up goals. And OKRs is always known as a moonshot. So if you want to be the SpaceX or Falcon or whatever, this is it. So I hope so I've started the OKR journey a year and a half back with a lot of what I call, so I come from a data architecture world, and I was introduced to OKRs. Everybody was talking of OKRs. I started Googling it, and little did I realize I actually became a fan of it. And as I moved and evolved and started taking out the digital automation, there's a lot of buzzwords these days. I've created a new buzzword called interconnecting automation, and I have started applying OKRs. And I will walk the journey of 1.5 year. It's long, but I'll try to wrap it up. And yeah, if you do have questions, Madan, I don't know how you want to pull it. It's Zoom, so you can pull it later, or we could take it in between and get going. So with that, we'll start with this. So guys, this is 2020. I'm glad you guys joined, and hopefully you can take away something. That's my goal, and then you can start applying. So very simple. OKR is objectives and key results. What is your objective and what is the key result you expect it to be? It's as simple. So this concept of OKR is not something new. It was as early as in the 1970s by John Doerr. Very strong guy, measure what matters. Then the big thing where OKR became popular was Google. Google used it for their moonshot ambitions, not to be a small company, but to be a global leader in search. So Google has been successfully using it. What we will talk is with the definitions, with some examples, and yes, we also need to talk about the pitfalls. This saying, you want to date, obviously for the very first time, a man or a woman, the opposite gender, but you don't know how to date them. So it's the same thing with OKRs. Everybody thinks this is cool. I would love to date this, but the problem is when you try to date, dates are always expensive. So you got to understand why the dates are expensive. And then once you see there's a value for both of you, then you go on and start dating it. Again, no offense, just please don't get it offended. That's the Um, that's the American way, but yeah, feel free to go ahead. So yeah, welcome again. So this is the agenda. We're going to talk about the definitions of the OKRs. Uh, is anybody from a strategy, meaning something at a program manager or an enterprise architect? Madan, anybody in the team?
I think a lot of people here from enterprise architect. I can see Braj is from McKinsey. He's a lot of doing into digital transformation in enterprise architect. But I can see a
Cool.
lot of friends are from that space.
So I will actually, so do not get lost, guys. We're going to talk of OKRs, but I really think you need to think from a strategic perspective. And when you mean strategy, enterprise architects are the ones. Again, I'm not going to talk of TOGAF or anything. The basic of enterprise architecture is converting your strategy into IT landscape or converting it from the C-suite to your commoners. Very simple. You are the liaison between the business and IT, or between that. Then we're going to talk of what is OKRs and how do you measure them from a KRA or KPI. And when I spoke to Madan in the morning, I believe there are a lot of program managers. So we're going to talk a little bit of SAFe. Maturity model, unfortunately, guys, I'm really, I didn't get a chance. As it is, it took a lot of time. And then we're going to talk of success pitfalls. Q&A, I felt we should push it to the last. But what we'll do is, in order to make it interactive, we will every 10-15 minutes, I'll pause for questions. So the whole thing is I am summing up all the way. And yes, I've included, actually, I know Madan through the automation summits and automation groups. So why won't I link back the OKRs to the digital automation? You can take these tenets or these principles and apply it to digital transformation. It's all for you. But basically, I'm making it a sabji mandi for you so that you can take and you buy the vegetables what you want and move forward. So this is
Rameshwar, sorry to interrupt you. There are few people, 10, 15 people who are into the waiting room. Can you please just admit all of them?
okay, sorry. Oh yeah, okay. uh,
In
oh, you pulled up.
participants?
Yes, you pulled up quite a bit of quorum. Very impressive, Madan. That's impressive.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We keep doing that. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Do let me know while I'm talking if somebody's there. Okay. So the big thing, guys. Since I'm assuming many of you come from a management or strategy and all, we all have MBOs. MBO acronym, it's a management by objective. Most of the times, very simple, ask yourself, we talk of strategy, but the big thing is, if you have kids, when you ask your kid, what is your dad thinking or what does your dad want to do, I don't know. That's the simplest answer we give, because we ourselves don't communicate back to our kids properly. I mean, some parents do, I don't do that. It's the same thing when you take this at a much global or a macro level. That's the problem in enterprise. Many of us don't even know why the heck we are working for. We are doing something, but how does it even contribute? We don't know what value it gets. And then when we do get our year-end goals or year-end bonus, we try to maneuver in such a way that we look the best, and then we get the best rating and get the best bonus. I guess you all agree, right? So this is the problem. So if you are in a company like that, of course you can say, my manager, and again, no offense, I've left India after probably 16 years back. I am scared in working with Indian offshore companies, but yes, I do have a lot of my offshore vendors. Is the bossism still exists? You better do what I want you to do, not what you want to do. So what will happen is there's a total disconnect between you and your boss. You just execute. It's like a master slave architecture. We talk about an architecture, but it's the same master slave. What is your future company's goals? We don't know. What is that they want us? We don't know. We are just execution guys. We do that based on the taskmaster given us. So I believe this is resonating. So for the same reason, if you're a startup or if you want to transform the company into the future, digital transformation has been there for the last 30, 40 years. And I heard somebody's from McKinsey. McKinsey is a visionary. Yeah. So if you want to be the visionary, or if you also want to transform it, OKRs are kind of a way. So with that, like I said, this was started by John Doerr. Measure what matters. OKRs helps in the following ways. So very simple. OKR is broken down into two things. One is a verb, one is an action, adjective. So objective to the left and key results is to the right. Objective always has to be qualitative. I repeat, qualitative, meaning you tell the definition. What are you trying to accomplish? Remember at the very beginning, I showed a picture of a rocket flying to the moon. That is your qualitative objective. Your key result is how do you measure those actionable or measurable insights? So if you see to the left, okay, I think, yeah. Okay, so to the left is objective. So what do you want to accomplish next year? So let's say Madan wants to establish an automation, like I was speaking to him, he wants to establish an automation center of excellence. That is a qualitative objective. Okay, this is what we call objective key result. In order to establish, so and again, guys and girls, the objective should not be too big. You should only have 3 to 5 simple, concise, English readable. Your objectives, if they become too big, they become boring, you lose track. So it's been proven by Google, by Kevin, by whatnot, that no more than 3 to 5 objectives have to be there. Now you can talk from a strategic level when you mean enterprise level, and then cascade it to the team level. We'll go one by one. So again, I repeat, an objective has to be in English, qualitative. You are not talking any metrics. You are talking your moonshot goal. Key results. So in order for you to be this digital automation COE, you have to do three things. First, you need to hire 5 people in the next 1 year. So maybe so five people, meaning out of the five, you need 3 from tech, 1 program manager, and 1 business analyst. That is one key result. Then you need a funding. Let's say we need $25,000. You need you need an annual income of roughly $200,000. So that is the second key result. And then you can have one more. So this is how you will quantitatively tell. And quantitatively, when you mean you should have a baseline, which means I want to hire 5 resources, or I want to increase my employee strength in COE from 0 to 5. When you say 5, it means no relevance, because I don't know whether you want to go from 100 to 105 or 5 to 20, 20 to 25. So always give the base value to the numerical value. So I want to grow my COE from 10 to 20 people, or my MRR or my ARR, I want to grow it from 100K to 200K. And always prefer to use numbers than percentage. Some people say grow my success rate or grow my net promoter score to 34%. What does 34% mean? We don't know. So that's why it's always a preferred value to say grow my net promoter score from 30 to 34%. Okay, so if you've got this, basically you got OKR. OKR is a moonshot goal which you aim high, and it is very clear with your objective and your key results, right? Okay. So, so why do we have to use OKRs? So first thing, like I said at the very beginning, like what it is you don't know why you are doing a job, which means you don't have alignment with the management objectives. That's the number 1 thing. Secondly, why are you doing the job, which is prioritization. Okay, so you get that priority of why you're doing, and then for the very first time you have the complete transparency of what value you're bringing in or what value the company is trying to do. This is transparency. When you get a transparency and visibility into the company's goals, and they give you an ability to give you an opportunity to grow. You feel empowered, you feel more committed. So when your boss doesn't boss you and he tells you, listen, this is our goal, we have to accomplish by next month this milestone. And then like Google, if you see, many, I think, I don't know how many of you have followed Google. Google has yearly targets, but they have personal targets. How much of your time have you contributed to your personal growth? Your personal growth could be developing your career skills or some other skills. Or how do you think you can make it something better? So that's empowerment. And then when you empower a person, you automatically get the feeling of accomplishment. Yes, I've contributed to this project and that helped it to grow the revenue. Ultimately, it contributed to a customer satisfaction. When at least this was a feeling I had when I was in India, when I was working in an offshore company. I was an Oracle ERP developer. I didn't know why I was doing it. Yes, I was doing because I had a what do you call an MD50, a requirement document from business analyst. I used to crunch the code, give it back. So when somebody asked me, Ramesh, why are you doing it? He wanted something, I did something, I delivered it. I really don't know, but of course that is 16 years back. But that's one of the reasons why. But the organizations are no longer what they are. In order for the companies to transform, they need to empower you, and you need to feel satisfied. Yes, I am accomplishing something. So this is why we do OKRs. It is to drive efficiency, provide consistent message across the organization, and then by you contributing, you become the we, you will take the company to the much higher level. I'll pause because this is OKRs. I'll pause for 4 or 5 questions. We can take it from there and move on. Everybody has questions?
So maybe guys, you can unmute or maybe use the chat and go ahead. Mr. Ankit, can you please go on mute? Ankit Nahar, you are not speaking, but a lot of noise in the background.
The key, see, just like the key for OKRs is alignment and transparency, the key to make sure this meeting is successful is you all are in sync with me. So it's the same thing. We are talking at a very much smaller level. Is there a relation between key result areas and OKRs? So I don't know if you've joined.
I'm sure we got a question. Is there any relation between key results areas and OKRs?
So good question, KRS. So if you see here, I don't know, Palani, were you there from the very beginning? So OKR has 3. Okay, so there are 3 things. Actually, OKR is not an automation tool. Please, OKR is a strategic concept. It's a philosophy. Do not think of technology. It is not a tool. OKR is more of how do you tell or how do you grow a company. If you are for a technology, I'm really sorry. OKR is not for that. OKR is to help you grow, how to align, and then we can take it. Okay. Now coming to Palani, like I said, yeah, I'll come back to that. Just hold on to what is KPI and OKR. We'll come back to all of that. I'm at OKR, but it's great that you guys are chiming in. OKR has 2 parts: objectives and key results. That key result also has key actions. If you are talking of an area, key result area is nothing but the key result. Like I said, it's a quantitative one, and you have to define how will you have those quantitative key results. Okay, so I'll come back to the and how to measure OKRs. Awesome. We'll come back. Yes, we'll come back to those measuring. We are at the very beginning, but I'm glad we are here. So I will actually walk through some examples for you, and then you can start doing of this. So we are here of what an OKR definition is, which is an objective and a key result, and why we should embrace OKRs. OKRs, long story short, is to provide a single consistent message across, and you are knowing what to do, how to do, you are being empowered, and then you are proud of your accomplishment. And then basically, like I said, this will help you translate to grow into lofty ambitions. OKR is set so high that you cannot accomplish it fully. You want to accomplish 70% of it. It's been proven scientifically that if you achieve 70% of OKR, that means you are rock solid on your OKRs. But it takes a while to accomplish that. So we'll get to all these questions now. So principles of OKRs, like I said, everything has principles. First thing is you got to be ambitious. That's what it is all about. OKR is about the moonshot goals. Remember the very first thing. So you have to aim high. If your target is reachable, which means you don't have an OKR, your objective is not proper. You need to make it high. Only when you raise the bar will you reach somewhere down. If you shoot for the Mars, you will reach moon. If you remember what Elon Musk says, aim for the moon or aim for the stars, you will reach moon. That is the objective of OKR. Then you don't want to clutter your OKRs. Less is more. If you have too many, all you will be doing is like a project manager managing the task. Don't make the OKRs into task master list. They have to be qualitative, which means you have to put a number to them. And then we will take it back. Then many times OKRs, I'll come back to what KPIs is. OKRs have to be defined either at a company level, which are annual, or at a department level, or at a team level, or at an employee level. It is a recommended practice if it's at a company level to go at an annual level. If not, you have to, very beginning, you will not understand. So either go for a quarterly or a half yearly level, because you have to get comfortable in the year one. And then basically, not but not the least, we tie individual performance to their value. We tie to their goals. OKR should not be directly tied to an individual performance, because then if you tie it to an individual performance, you are rating that person, and that person is always going to manipulate and show he's the best in the team. And then when you show he's the best in the team, that's not an OKR, it's a goal whether you fulfilled or not. So never tie an OKR to our individual success. Okay.
Hi, this is Ashwini. I have a quick question on the previous slide. When
Yeah.
you say don't tie it to an individual's success, but you also said we have to empower the team. So whoever we hire in order to achieve a particular mission, right? I'd call it a mission than a goal. In order to do that, it is important that we empower. Now,
Correct.
empowering is one, but how do you know that that person actually delivered what you were intending the person to deliver? That individually is it is an individual measurement, right? So
yes,
I'm a
I
little
agree.
confused between the two of them here.
So I'll tell you one thing. When I mean not tied, so if I don't know if you're from HR always goes by the goals. So when you tie an OKR to a goal, or when you're a manager, when you tie it to a goal, then it no longer becomes so OKR is about moonshot goal. So when I said not tied to an individual success, maybe I should have said do not tie it to a performance goal. You're right, because if you don't know whether the person is successful or not, you don't know whether he's the capable person. So what I meant to say is do not tie it to HR performance goals. When you hit an employee goal, let's say you hired a new person, your objective is basically you want him to learn SAP XYZ module by 3 months. What you are hoping is he is comfortable with the basic functional design or whatnot. So in 3 months, you want to say that your objective is he should at least hit 60 to 70% of the functional module, let's say sales and distribution or whatnot, but don't tie it to a performance goal, because when you tie it to a performance goal, he will always show 100%. And that is what I meant to say is do not tie a key result to a goal. Hope it made sense.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So here, exactly, you bought it. So I have some examples. So this is an example of a HR OKR. what are the objective. Now remember, there was a left and the right. The left was qualitative, the right was quantitative. What we said is, if you read here, improve internal employee engagement and job satisfaction. This is our objective, and our objective is time bound, which means we are going by quarterly. So in order to, so what did I say? An objective should not be more than 3 to 5, and or 2 to 3 objectives, and each objective cannot have more than 3 to 5 key results. So somebody was asking me, Ramesh, how do we get the measurement? So you have brought a very right point. When you talk of employee internal job satisfaction, what do you mean? You want to interview people, your employees, then get them trained on the OKRs. Then, sorry?
Can you allow some people there in waiting room?
Oh, okay, okay. Did they get? Yeah, I think it's a lot. Okay, so coming back, like the objective was qualitative, clearly telling you wanted to improve the satisfaction, and the key results are quantitative, no more than 3 to 5 with metrics. Now, what it is telling is basically you are saying interview 48 employees to see where do we stand from work culture. Implement the OKRs and get all the teams, all the 23 teams trained. Then do the employee satisfaction and at least hit a 4.7 and not an employee NPS, EPS. Then every third month, do an all hands motivational speaker. This is your key results. At the end of, instead of waiting for the quarter, you could do every month or 2 months or 3 months and measure how are we doing for our key results. So if you see at the end of the first quarter, because this was for a quarter, we have interviewed only 60%. And then we have pretty much implemented the OKR software across the teams. And then we only had 65% of the teams doing this. So overall, if you see here, probably I met 60% of my objective. Remember what I said, 70% if I hit an objective, that means it's a phenomenal goal. 60% is not bad. Now you know your OKR is working. This is a classic example. I'll pause for questions. We'll run through more. Actually, I put something where I will take your feedback and you tell me based on whatever you understood, is this right or wrong? Remember 2 things or 3 things. OKR is only setting you for a very grand ambition. OKR has 2 parts, objective, key result. Objective is English, no numbers, no percentage, nothing. Key result is talking about your measurements, 3 to 5. Okay, so this is an example. I will talk about another example, and then I will take a test for you guys. So we go on to an HR. Now I'm going to an operations KPI. So our objective, so to the left is our key results. Remember I said to you, our key results have to be 3 to 5, no more than that. And our objective has to be in English, no metrics, no nothing. So if you look to the right, we are saying improve our documentation and information management processes. Many of you in the automation would love to hear this. And I took this because in automation, when you do, we have invoices manual in nature or a PDF, we have to send those, extract those. So IDP, OCR, if you have used Tesseract, cognitive, any AI capabilities, your goal is to automate. So your objective in this case was to streamline your documentation and scan all of those images. So in order to do that, you put 3 results. 1, you have a better system for tracking. So maybe you implement an IDP solution. Then the next thing is which software to use it, which is more efficient. And then finally, you start building how the success of it is. So these are the 3 results. And again, for each of them, you have to put a metric. So you want to finalize a software in the next 2 months. Remember, an OKR has to be quarterly. If it cannot be quarterly, then you have a serious problem. You make it a half-yearly OKR. There is no hard fast rule of whether you should make it quarterly, monthly. It is for you. What I've seen generally in the OKR industry is They give a annual, half yearly, quarterly, monthly. In fact, people tie it to sprint. We are not being able to successfully tie it, but many people do it. So you define what makes you flexible, because for the first time when you're implementing, you're learning OKRs brand new. So you define, and then you say, I want to have, my documentation procedures streamlined by next year. Then you want to finalize your software in the next 3 months. So when you define your key result, that the first key result is I want to streamline my software, you will send an RFP to Abby, to Google, to this one. And first thing is you streamline. So key result one, you accomplished. The second result is, now that you have initialized the software, you want to streamline. So what you want to do is, when you have this software, when you start scanning the invoices, you have a lot of data quality issues. You want to make sure it's consistent and the way you onboard is there. You want to hit a 60% accuracy of scanning the documents. And not but the least, one more result is, I just made it, is you show the win or start celebrating the success. So this way, you are actually applying an objective to your automation. You could apply the same thing elsewhere. So what we're seeing in HR and in operations, you could apply to your sales, to your product, to your any other thing. What it gives you is complete visibility of what you're talking. And remember, OKR is strategic in nature. You need project management or portfolio management or SAFE for execution. Unless you have the execution, OKR has no value because it's strategic. And unless you don't have a strategic, you can't put an execution in place. So OKR and SAFE go together. And somebody did ask me, Ramesh, how do you measure? For the very first time, your measurement will not be accurate because you don't know. You are throwing something in the air, and you will have to continuously improve. If the guy whoever asked me if you've heard of process mining, I will throw an example of how process mining can help in measurement. Okay, so with whatever, hopefully what the examples I've shown you could have enlightened you, I'm going to put a quiz for everyone to tell me, is this right or wrong? So our first quarter is, our main objective is to increase the recurring revenues by 30%. Let me know, is this right or wrong, and why?
I think you said do not go by percentages, but stick to the numbers if possible, because percentage usually is not a achievable target, or it's not more accurate, is what you said in the beginning.
Correct. Right, but the objective is recurring revenues. So is it for sales? Is it for what? I'm assuming it is sales. So first thing is the qualitative. I want to increase my sales, or I want to increase my customer satisfaction, or I want to launch my digital automation COE. Directly, this is more like a key result rather than an objective, because it is telling it wants to increase this revenue by 30%. So instead of becoming an objective, this is a key result. I want to increase my sales in North America. I want to increase my sales. Where do you want to increase the revenue? The company as a whole, okay, great, but that's more a very high level one. I want to increase my annual objective, my annual revenues. From there, you start dividing it. So this is an objective that starts with sales, but it clearly doesn't tell you whether it's sales or for which line of business or how much it wants. So this is more a key result that has to be more streamlined. Now, the second one, anybody wants to take it? I think, if I'm not wrong, that's Ashwin or Ashwini that just spoke.
Correct. That was me. Yes.
Yeah. So I think you're very active. That's fine. But how about quarter two?
It's not qualitative.
Yeah.
Why?
So,
because it doesn't mention what kind of product we are referring to. It says two main products, but we're not sure what product they're referring to.
It's a vague awesome product. You're right. You're right. So that is exactly, your objective has to be just like for goals, we say SMART. If you don't tell what is your main product, how will I know? If I come or you come, spot on. You're just saying main products. Which product? I have to go and ask somebody, hey, what is this objective? What is that main product, first of all? So if I would have said improve the launch version for our, let's say, Colgate Dabur toothpaste, I would have understood it a lot more. Yep. So I think you guys are jumping in. Awesome. That's good. 3 and 4 are kind of very similar, but I guess I wanted to just give you an idea. So yeah, questions before I go to the next one? Okay. So I'll go now. Now, one of the thing is OKR cascading. Remember what I said? It's OKRs needs a strategic alignment, but you need the power of the CEO or the C-suite, but you cannot employ it on day one at the management level. You have to do baby steps. You take one line of business. Usually, what I've seen is HR has embraced OKRs because they see internal customer satisfaction. I mean, it's internal engagement as a number one. So they jump in and then they slowly grow. But the way you'll do is OKR cascading is if you know MBOs or management by goals. Remember, I told you at the very beginning, the management asked you to do something and you did it. This is what you don't want with OKRs. If you are doing what the management wanted, then what difference is it? Why do you even want to do that? What you want to do is, so the corporate level OKRs are very high level, meaning, we want to grow or we want to be a number one company in beverages, or we want to grow our customer experience. From there, you will take, let's say, we want to improve our customer satisfaction. So in order to improve customer satisfaction, you need 3 things. You need marketing and sales and IT to work together. So what should these 2 teams do is they take that objective of improving customer satisfaction. So when you mean customer satisfaction, there are 3 things to happen or 4 things to happen. 1, you need sales. 1, you need is the marketing. You need the service team or the ops team, because once you sell a product, you need somebody to support it, right? And then not the least, you need the IT. So this is how a corporate level OKR is taken, that improved customer satisfaction as one of their key OKRs. And from there, they can add their own OKRs. You want to improve customer satisfaction, but you want to make it seamless, meaning the corporate level was only make it improve customer satisfaction. You will add an objective saying, make this customer satisfaction multi-touch, meaning you want to put it on the phone, you want to put it on something, you want something. So the sales guy will say, I want this multi-touch. The marketing guy will say, okay, improve the customer satisfaction, I will do marketing survey forms. So I will create an objective is create marketing survey. The support guy, which is the service team, will say improve customer satisfaction. So see this one OKR, you are cascading it down, but not pushing it. That OKR is objective is bifurcating or trifurcating into something else. And from there, it'll go into other departments. And from those departments, so let's say it goes to the team level. So let's say you and I are from IT, or we're all from the automation team. We're all passionate about RPA, API, and all. So when the sales guy came to me and said, Ramesh, we need to make it seamless. We'll say, we'll give you APIs and we'll give you some REST, user responsiveness. So as a project manager, I will say, what is my OKR is, I will take this objective is to make it seamless. Maybe I will say, instead of using Angular, I will use React, or I will do something. So now if you see, each OKR is transforming or morphing into something. So not only do I get a visibility that the company wants to improve the net promoter score or customer satisfaction, but I am contributing back in a much better, efficient way. And my objective is translating into a value add, which is ultimately propelling the company's top line, bottom line, whatever line you want to call it. That's what it is. So this OKR cascading cannot be enforced. It has to gradually cascade, and that cascading has to be amended for each team or each line of business. This is a big one. I'll pause for a moment for people to digest what OKR cascading is. Any questions?
it is just from trying to just say the same things as what I understand here. You're saying that if a company has a particular goal, the CEO of a company has a particular goal to achieve, which becomes mission critical. Say in another 6 months, I need to change, I need to be from X and I need to
Yeah.
be at Y point. Then obviously to that mission critical goal, if there are several departments that have an impact, then this mission, though the actual goal is about achieving a bigger intent,
Objective.
a bigger intent and an objective, everybody's objective will kind of work towards these different departments, kind of keep breaking it down and cascading it down
Correct.
in
Correct.
order to achieve the end goal.
End result. And you're spot on. Not only that, you have the ability to add your own objectives. So always remember, the CEO's goal is your goal. You can do whatever strategy. If you don't deliver what your CEO wants, you're on the line of fire. It's as simple as that. But what OKRs do you is you can tag on to his OKR and add and give much more value add. In the past, when we did an MBO, you had no option. You just had to do. It was a master slave concept. Somebody told, your boss told, and you had to deliver. That's it. That's why MBOs have no value. OKRs are giving you the flexibility to empower yourself. So not only you have vision, you can add more to accomplish much more. At each level, if you can do more value add, that is the power of OKR.
Got it. Thank you.
No worries. And somebody, sorry, when you said top down, I read like bottom up. I think it's 11 o'clock for me. So my apologies. You're right.
Hi, Ramesh, Prakash here. So, like, how exactly we have to structure and we have to define our OKRs actually? If you can highlight
So
something.
sure. Actually, if you see, that's why I give you those two examples. Let me just go back. So take this example. If you've seen this, see, I've given you. Let's take an example of your stuff. So you tell me, don't you? We can go through the example that I made. Tell me what do you do in your day life. We'll go with an OKR, so it makes you can connect with it. We'll come back to it. So what do you do if you can help me? Don't feel shy, Prakash. Even I am not accurate. Even I'm learning. So let me put it this way: life is all about continuous learning. Go ahead, Prakash.
Can you rephrase it, Ramesh? Like, how am I supposed to project this?
Correct. So I've given you two examples. One was a HR, like this is an example, and then an operations OKR, where I've used an example of building up our intelligent document processing and a digital automation COE. So it looks like you're not connected. What I'm saying is, if you can walk a day in the life of what you do, we will build an OKR and we will cascade it down.
Okay.
So if you can tell me what do you do, not for what do you do in your day job or something? Let's build an OKR, and how do you report in your hierarchy? If you can tell, we'll try to build one.
Okay. So ideally, like I work for into ITSM platform where I'm taking care about the complete building a complete automation and performing the complete performance test on top of it before releasing the product into SaaS environment or on cloud or on premise. So my ideal role over here is to ensure the positive delivery of the product altogether. So
okay. From a hierarchy, so your objective, you already nailed it. Bring a positive experience or a seamless experience of this product, right?
right.
Okay, that's your objective. Your key result, in order to bring this seamless experience, you need, in order to be the SaaS, be beta certified, your number of defects have to be less than 30% or 20%. That is one key result, I would say. Okay.
Okay.
Is that a valid assumption? I mean, we can make it 30, we can put it 50. So basically, in order to have seamless, your number of testing defects have to be low, maybe 20 or maybe 30.
Okay.
Okay, that is key result 1. Now, key result 2 is, in order to have this seamless experience, you should be able to provide this ability of this app to be available on 999 or 59s, which means this app, your SaaS app, has to be available. If you say 59s, which means you have 7 hours downtime in a month, in a year. If you are 7/9, you have less than 30 minutes. So let's say for our sake, let's have ability to provide this service 5/9, which means in a year you will only go down 7 times, 7 hours. Okay, that is your second one. So if you see here, we can start more. So what it is you had an objective to provide a seamless experience, and your key results was reduce the number of defects, make it available, and maybe somewhat now you have it. Now I'm assuming you have your team, right?
Right.
So your objective was to provide a seamless experience platform. They will take that as Prakash or boss objective 1. Their objective is, in order to provide this, they need a what do you call, their objective is, in order to provide a nice responsive framework. A framework, like I said, it could be Angular or Java. So their objective is to provide you with a good framework that could be responsive. You want a seamless experience. Their objective is to provide a framework for your portal to be responsive, meaning it's available on an iPad or a browser or whatnot. So in order to provide the responsive framework, his key result 1 is, turn on Angular by turn on Angular by 30 days. Then have the app hosted on Angular by 45th day. So if you see here, he has taken your objective and converted his objective into an additional objective. Okay, and then he's adding his key results. So now if you see your objective, which was very generic of providing a seamless experience, he has taken that and said, I will make the seamless experience as a touch, what you call a multi-channel or responsive. So this way, your object is being cascaded, and when he delivers this responsive framework, then so his objective was making it responsive. Okay, your team developer objective was accomplished. Because he made it responsive, you didn't tell your objective whether it has to be responsive or not. You just wanted a seamless experience. By making it responsive, now you're even though you had 3 results, you are making this available across various platforms, and now your objective, your objective was to have the seamless platform is kind of partially fulfilled. Correct?
Right.
So this is how you cascade. Now, if your management has, you can take those and keep it down. So this is how you cascade. Remember, the cascading is not to push you down. The cascading is to give you alignment with the management, and from there to add your own objectives. Make sense?
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Sure. So suddenly with this, okay, we've talked of OKRs. Why am I moving to vision mission? So guys, I come from an enterprise architecture. I've heard somebody from McKinsey. Enterprise architecture does 3 things: vision, mission, strategy. Everything else has to tie back to strategy, and then you do an execution. So why, I don't know how many of you follow, but I took the big leaders, is no matter what you do, you have to understand 2 things. What is a vision? What is a mission? Vision is tomorrow, and that is what objective is. Where do you want to set the moon goal? If you see Tesla, it wants to be the most compelling car of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electrical vehicles. We have all the ICE engines, the internal combustion, we want to move them to electric vehicles. So their mission. So remember what I said, vision is all about future. Can you do it today? No, it takes time. This is what an OKR also is. OKR is putting that moonshot goal off for the future. In order to do that, you need to be in today. So how will you do this? By accelerating the transition to sustainable. Remember, Tesla has used the word accelerate. which means you cannot jump from day 0 to day 3. You have to put a bridge. That bridge is acceleration. This is, if you start looking at any website, have a look on what vision and mission is. Why do you need this? Strategy is the one that is supporting your vision and mission. Execution is the one that is converting your strategy into your reality. So if so when Tesla had, what do you call, his vision of transitioning to the electrical cars, his vision was to do that. In order to do that, he had an execution plan. Build a plant for batteries. We had Panasonic, he built it, and then he had a design, and then he had a lot of money. So that execution is the one that helps you convert your mission into a vision. Same thing when you see Amazon, their vision is to be, remember, this could be an objective itself. If you remember, objective is qualitative in nature. To be the Earth's most customer-centric company where customers can find anything they might want to buy. This falls exactly in line with an objective, but the difference between a vision and an objective, if you see from an English dictionary perspective, they are same, but an objective has an annual goal. A vision can never be an annual goal. It is 3 to 5 years. So in some ways, you can consider vision objective to be a short-sighted vision. Vision is more long-sighted, but this is exactly how an objective is. And how, in order to do that, your mission has to be to offer the best possible prices wherever possible. This I want you to know in mind, and we'll come back to why you need to have vision and mission with your alignment. Because OKR is all about strategy. And what is strategy? It is connecting the dots between your vision and mission. So the strategy, when aligned with the vision and mission, will make you more successful. So that's why I took 2 of the top companies in the world to understand vision and mission. Hope it's useful to you. Yeah. So, so now that you understood vision and mission, I am taking you a little bit digressing from OKRs, and I'll come back to OKRs again. How many of you know what's a strategy map? Yeah. So good. So looks like many of you do know. That's somebody's joining or what? Yeah. Sorry. A balanced scorecard is not a strategy map. A balanced scorecard ties to a strategy map, because balanced scorecard is like KPIs telling you how you're doing. Yeah. Okay. Good. So a strategy map has 4 things. Very simple. How do you do? How are we doing from a revenue perspective? How do we reduce the cost? And what do we do for our stakeholders? That's financial. Customer is, how do we improve? It's all about the experience. Is he getting the value for the money? Is he getting value for the experience? And is the product good enough? In order to support a customer, you need your internal processes. The internal processes are your business processes and the technologies that we deal with. And finally, the learning and the growth is our employees. A good employee workforce, if they're trained and if they're motivated, they will support your internal process much more efficiently. So many people, what I don't like about strategy map is it talks of a customer, but I would have hoped they would have put customer/employee. Employee experience is equally imperative. Unfortunately, many companies don't even care a damn. They say customer is the king, but inwards, outwards. If you don't value your employee, why would you even contribute? The objective of OKR is to empower. Sorry? Okay, there was this one. So why we are coming? Because the vision and the mission ultimately translate into a strategy map. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this strategy map and actually somebody talked about balance scorecard, but before this, I will do a business model canvas. So guys have this picture. We will do a transpose of a strategy map to a business model canvas. So this is a bit cluttered, but if you remember, I talked about financial, customer, process, and this. A business model canvas has 9 quadrants. It talks about who your key customers are, who are your key partners, how are your channel relationships, how are you spending money, where are you spending money, how much are you getting. Why this helps for automation, we will go in a second. So if you have this snapshot, so this is the strategy map. If we spend time on the customer and the perspective, which is the internal process, remember there is the operational excellence, the value add, innovation process, social responses. So how many of you I know are aware of BPM, process mining, process intelligence, data mining? How many of you? Anybody can just say, do you know, yes or no?
Little bit.
Okay. So guys, now we talked of OKRs, right? Objectives and key results. How do you know what John Doerr said is measure what matters? But what do I know to measure? How do I know where to measure, what to measure? Where should I even start with, right? So if you don't understand your strategy map, if you don't understand your process, how can you predict? So if you say, I want to have a seamless experience, improve my improve my customer satisfaction, and in the customer satisfaction, I say I want to improve my NPS from 20 to 50. Where do I attack? That processes are available in this internal process, which is that 20 to 50%, maybe your ticketing is high or your supply chain is there. So we guys, meaning the BPM was all about building the business process. The problem with BPM or data governance was they took time, and many people never even embraced them. And actually, I don't know how it's in India. Thanks to new technologies called process intelligence, these help you accelerate your process discovery. And when you can accelerate a process discovery and understand where are your efficiencies or where you can automate, now you can truly start predicting or have a measurable outcome. And remember what I said, key result is all about measurable outcome. So when you can have visibility into your internal processes, even HR, see if you see even HR, finance, whatnot, you can hit your strategy map much more confidently, saying I can improve the revenue from 10 to 20%. And when you say that, which means you are improving your objective of increasing customer satisfaction is growing. So using the process intelligence tied up to a strategy map, you can talk OKRs much more confidently. But the key is OKRs take time, because you don't start on day one, and you need these kind of tools or these kind of technologies, people to help you grow. So this is why I had to digress from an OKR to the strategy map. So now with all of those, I am actually giving you a live example. Remember, we had the strategy map where we talked about finance, customer, internal process, and employee. So remember, your vision and mission or your strategy. So I took from there 4 objectives. So objective 1, improve operational excellence in supply chain management. Second objective, reduce friction in AR. Third objective, accelerate revenue returns. Fourth objective is improve product development. Now, in the 4, I have made my message very clear, saying I want to improve experience or reduce friction or accelerate revenues. That was my objective. Each objective had no more than 3 to 5 key results. I want to accelerate my process discovery by 5% in supply chain. Implement lean process in 10%, automate at least 10 SCM processes. So now I'll come back to KPIs. We'll come back. So now the same thing, when I made a definition of reduce friction in accounts receivable. I don't know how many of you are from AR. There's a concept called day sales outstanding. More the number of days, if your invoice stays unpaid, that's a bad sign that you have bad customers. So you want to reduce your day sales outstanding from 45 to 30 days. You want to reduce your budget variance from 20 to 10%. Remember, it's not going ascending, it's going down, because you want to, the more variance you cut down, the benefit you have. Same thing when I say my revenue returns, I want to reduce the churn rate, meaning number of customers that drop away from me. So the same thing from product. Now, if you see here, OKRs are clearly tied to my vision and mission, which is I want to be a leader in XYZ company, whatever it is. So here I've cut across 4 lines of business, and each line of business is supported by multiple line of business. Now, if you see the KPI, okay, I'll come back to that. The key result is supported by KPI. What did I said? I wanted to automate 10 SCM processes. So if I said 10, the KPI is telling me how many processes I've identified. Then how many automations have I done? So for the team who is building the digital automation COE, this is a classic example. You can put targets which are high. So let's say if I said automate, accelerate process discovery by 5% in SCM. So the KPI is telling me if I said 5%, out of the 5%, how many processes I have discovered, and my K objective, my K result was saying 10 SCM. My KPI is telling me whether did I do 10 or 5. So a 5% means a 50% of my objective has been successful. Same thing with the other ones. I'll pause for questions. This picture speaks a lot. So if you understand why I paused at OKR, went to vision mission, applied a strategy. The strategy was using the balance score, the strategy map, which had all the 4, and then we are using OKRs to tie it back to the strategy and the vision and the mission. This is a lot. Honestly, this is not what OKRs taught me, but as I started applying OKRs, I started seeing a lot of value. Wait, when I started applying all of this to my automation COE, when we talk of automation, we just don't talk of IT. We talk of finance, we talk of product teams, we talk of sales, we talk of supply chain, we talk all of this. So when I took this to them, it was so clear what my mission was. Nobody even challenged me. So I want you to start thinking, and I put this OKR specifically for the team because many of you are automation. When you start putting this, you can tie it back to your mission and vision. People will start reciprocating a lot more. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm on LinkedIn again. Feel free to connect. Yeah. So for guys, so in the prior slide I showed you, I should have made this slide. I think I was trying. So OKR is like a GPS. Where the hell you want to go? You want to go moon? Go. You want to go Mars? Go. KPI is telling you, are you on track to go to moon or not? So that's why OKRs, if you see, I've kept the picture as GPS. KPI is here like a speed dial. So for somebody who was asking me what is the difference between OKR and KPI, this is what. OKR is strategic in nature, very well tied with your vision and mission. It is moving the needle. It is moving your company. KPIs feed back into OKR and tell you how good you are with your KPIs. And KPIs are more a performance scorecard for your company, which is needed by your shareholders. So this is the big difference between OKR and KPI. If you want, I can switch between the prior slide and this slide to, picture speaks 1,000 words. So if you want to, take a snap, I can go. So hope you understood the difference between OKR and KPI.
Yes.
So guys, now I've fed all of my stuff. Now that we've talked of strategy, guys, we need to implement it. There's no point of talking, right? We want to build Taj Mahal, but if you don't build it, who's going to see it, right? So OKRs and SAFE. Everybody talks of scaled agile framework. So why should I not talk about it? I also, right? So if anybody who has done besides SAFE lean portfolio management, LPM. Okay. SAFE talks more from a Scrum and what do you call it? It talks of art and PI planning at a very high level, but when you go to lean portfolio management, it is connecting all the way from strategy to execution. So think of SAFE as Scrum of Scrums. Portfolio management is actually at a very high level. So when you talk of portfolio management, There's a portfolio, program level, and then the feature level. So if you guys have done SAFe or Jira, when you take a portfolio, you break it down into a program. A program has features. Those features, you break it down into an epic. Epic becomes a story. Isn't it so? So the same thing, these SAFes, you can work with the portfolio manager and build portfolio OKRs, which are at a very high level. Then you have a program level, which is slightly lower than a portfolio, and you have art. Art is an agile release stream with probably 50 to 125 people. I just passed out of my LPM, so I know a little bit of it. So you work with them and start building your program level OKRs. And then finally, the feature, which is more like a story or a sprint, is what you do it. So now what I did is I took this pyramid and mapped it into, oh, sorry, I forgot the background. So I took the pyramid and took it more to a sprint level. Now, remember guys, sprint is only 3 weeks. So what we did is you need a champion, an OKR champion to help you drive it. So an OKR champion will work with the Scrum Master and he will define the priorities. He will define the backlog. So if you see here, the pre-gaming where OKR champion works with Scrum Master, they will define the product level or the program level OKRs, and they will give the key results. Then the Scrum Master will start working with the team. Remember, the sprint option or their objective of sprint is to deliver the sprint. But as an OKR champion, you want to make sure the goals are set and you work it. And not the least, to the right, if you see, once a product is delivered, the product owner reviews the OKRs and starts measuring. So this is how you will take OKRs and tie it back to a SAFe, all the way from a portfolio program to a sprint level. Okay. So now that you've learned a lot, this is all great. But in order to, you've learned what an OKR is, and now you also learned how to tie it with this. How do you measure the success? First thing is you always plan to fail. If you think you're going to hit success, that is not the way. You need continuous alignment with the management and be prepared for at least 3 to 4 cycles. And when I mean 3 to 4 cycles, each cycle could be quarterly. So which means you will start seeing your OKR success by year end. If you are in for the game, and many startups are embracing OKRs because they know the pitfalls. I work with startups, so I know them. So if your company says, you know what, I don't care a damn, I will do business as usual, OKR is not fit for you. But if you are in up for a game, you want to redefine, be a new frontier, be prepared to fail and be prepared to take time. When you do a startup, when you build a new product, it takes time. It's no different. So, but you need a cadence along with the sprint master. You set the cadence, work with an OKR champion. Who will own it? How will we own it? And then we should do, just like at a sprint review, we do an OKR review. So you don't need another OKR software. You can use a spreadsheet to begin with. And as you evolve, you can start. Oh, I think there are 4 more people. Once again, you can evolve from there. So we talked about OKR success. So this is something, guys, I didn't get a chance to fill, but I will have to. So, we've all been talking of OKRs are phenomenal. They make you alignment, they give you visibility, yada, yada, yada. But why isn't everybody not talking about? So this one isn't filled up. I'm filling it. So if you see here, it sounds very simple and convincing. Somebody asked me, Ramesh, how do you measure it? That is the fundamental problem. So when you start off, you don't know how much is too good to measure. So that's a big problem. And then second thing is you don't have enough data. So when you don't have data and you can't measure it, how can you define your key result? If I'm defining OKRs for the very first time, I want to improve my net promoter score by 25%. Where is the basis? Where is the data? Like I said, process intelligence is there, but I need to buy the tool. So which means initially first 2 quarters, I just don't know. So that's a big problem. And then, like I said, if the businesses, we are surviving, we are a commodity market, like the Kirana market in India, we don't need to innovate, then you can't beat a browhead. You just can't beat it. So OKR simply become a failure. Now, let's say you're at the year end and at the year end, your sales are declining. Your CEO calls and he says, I don't care what you do, just go and sell off every damn thing, just dispose it. So your KPI becomes your objective. So when you have those kind of mentality, you can really never be successful. Second thing is end of quarter. Like I said, OKRs take 3 to 4 quarters, but if you start at the end of the quarter, your energy is focusing on your quarter rather than an objective. So the time it takes is what is a big thing. You can't get success in 1-2. You need complete strategic alignment, and you have to be mentally prepared that until the third or the fourth quarter, you will not be successful, because you have to train the team. The team has to be used. The project managers have to be, we're all talking of SAFe, classic example. How many companies in this day, even to this day, use waterfall? Why? Because they have not evolved and they just let it go BAU. It is the same problem for this. So if you don't change your mindset, then OKR is not for you. Then the next thing is, how do you do the alignment? Should it be across the teams, within the team, or whatnot? For OKRs to be successful, you want top management support, but you start off with one line of business for sure, or one team. But make sure that team is completely what do you call it? Completely aligned. So OKRs are great, but there are many people who have failed for it. So embrace for failure. Yeah. So I think we are at the end of the hour. So finally, yeah. Okay. So yeah, guys, I think I did a double switch. So this is what I had in mind. Questions? I think, wow, we went well over hour. I didn't even realize that. Madan?
So, Rameshwar, actually, if you can show the people your LinkedIn profile, the people who are excited about architecture, maybe OKR, they may stay connected with you. That would be great.
Let me just post my LinkedIn. I keep posting a lot of blogs, guys. So I'm actually from India. I'm from Hyderabad. Yeah, feel free to connect. Yeah, we could. Anything that I do know, I'm always happy to share, learn, whatever. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. So, but is everyone
I think
from?
Rameshwar, you have posted in the private to me. It would be great if you can share with everyone.
So that's it, guys and girls. I hope it was informative for you. But basically, I've tried to connect strategy, enterprise architecture, everything with process DevOps, not DevOps, digital automation. Yep. And thank you. It's late for me. It's getting close to 12. But it's a pleasure talking to you all. Bye.
Yeah, great. So guys, it's too late for Rameshwar in US, being in US. In case you have any question, either you may write to me or maybe directly you can approach Rameshwar on the LinkedIn. So thanks, Rameshwar, for accepting our invitation to enriching our community. Definitely we look forward in the future to learn from you. It was really, really informative, a new dimension to our overall portfolio. And thanks a lot, guys, for joining today.
Yeah,
And
actually, I am kicking off podcast from Wednesday. I don't know how many of you know Shail. So I will be interviewing CIOs, CEOs, CMOs, CTOs across the world. So this month I'll kick off with a US venture capitalist. Next month I'm kicking off with the chief digital officer in London. And then I probably want to go to India and all. So you can listen to my podcast. I will be talking about the role of future workforce and the modernization of technology.
Would be great, Rameshwar. Where can we enroll for the podcast?
It's actually
guys, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn is the place where Rameshwar keep posting. If you follow him, that's the place. I think that is the best.
Actually, so I've partnered with a company called CTO Academy. So basically, they are based out of London. It's all about raising the future CTOs, chief technology officers. So again, it's free. The whole thing is we will be talking of technology, how each one of us can be a future leader. So I didn't want to just focus on US. Obviously, I was US and India, but then when I thought I'll go around the world. I'll be interviewing people from Korea, Denmark, whatnot. But yeah, fine up over there. And I won't be speaking, I'll be interviewing. So it's a different thing.
Great. So considering being conscious about your time,
Yeah,
Rameshwar,
okay.
thanks a lot, guys. Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Rameshwar, and good night. Hope to see you again. Definitely will follow you and join your podcast. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rameshwar. Thank you, Madan.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you.